This film contains adult language. There are 17 swear words carefully placed throughout. Kids, can you find them?
Hey there. It's Moonraker time. This is the Thursday Freakout happening right now, 10 p.m. Central on Spreaker.com, and it is live. We might have a surprise guest, or maybe not. Big O mentioned yesterday he wanted to be on the episode today, but he said, hey, can you remind me that the Freakout's going to be on Thursday? Someone forgot to remind me to remind him, so there was no remind-the-nations happening. So he might call anyway, like he surprised me a few weeks ago when he just called out of the blue. And I think I was supposed to remind him then too. I'm not really sure, but it didn't happen, and it didn't happen this time. I have a feeling he's on red alert. He was fired up yesterday about all kind of things, so he might just remind himself. It's been a pretty kind of sad couple days. Yeah, there's not too much freaking out going on. Well, I did freak out yesterday, actually, and I don't know how many of you guys, I know many of you should. Many of you should know the name David Carradine. You remember him, Kill Bill? He was Bill. He was in a host of other movies. I had no idea the guy was dead. It was a complete shocker to me yesterday that David Carradine was dead, but the real killer to that was the fact that David died out of sexual asphyxiation. He actually hung himself trying to get off. The fucker was in his 70s. But I can't imagine that he was there by himself. Like, when I heard that, the first thing that came to mind is that some home health aide was trying to kill Bill, and she succeeded. Or he, for that matter. Fuck. You can't even, I don't even doubt it. It could be a dude, too. I don't even know anymore. I mean, I thought he lived the kung fu ways, Straight and narrow. He had rules, he had morals, he had sexual asphyxiation, and apparently his legs were not strong enough to get him back up. Man, what a way to go. What a way to go. Green Man is in the chat box live, and he says Kung Fu. That's right, the Kung Fu movie. Yeah, I mean, I was like thoroughly shocked. And, man, that's just, that is just a bummer. But, hey, you gotta go. So you might as well go, doing what you got, whatever you gotta do to have a happy ending. Get it? Yeah. I'm gonna just wait for a second so you can put that one together. This is episode number 327, UFO Buster Radio News. And I think I'm over that now. I've got myself a glass of some rum and some ice. It's actually straight. It's not mixed with anything because, yeah. I mean, come on. There's a lot of sick fuckers out there. What can you do? You gotta do what makes you happy, right? And if the sexual asphyxiation is what gets you off or dead, do it. Just do it. That's what Nike says. Recently, I posted the news about the tinfoil hat contest number 2. I think the first one was about 2 years ago. And hey, what better time than now? Because I've got some news today. One of them, it's a throwback to something that I missed on a particular ufology legend, if you will. Another one that went down the road of perversion. But here is the latest news on the tinfoil hat contest number 2. Basically, you are to design, if you're willing to, the best fucking tinfoil hat you could think of. It can't, don't be humdrum, as I said back in that show back in the day, Happy Days. Don't be humdrum about it. Don't give us a plain old cone-shaped fucking tinfoil wrap-up. No. You're not trying to get a beehive going on your head or something like that. We want to see some creativity here. We want to see you get down. Take a picture of yourself. Put it on your dog, your cat, your fish. Put it on one of your grandparents. I don't care. Take a picture. Submit it to ufobusterradio.com through the Gmail account. So ufobusterradio@gmail.com. Or you can do it to Manny at ufobusterradio.com. Either one would work. Submit the picture there before February the 10th, midnight Central Standard Time. Anybody after that, sorry. So the prize right now, as it stands, it is a $25 Amazon gift card. So guess what? If you want the prize, if you're judged as one of the winners, you will have to give up either your address or your email address because, with Amazon, you can do like an e-gift card. So we'll do that, $25 as it stands right now. There might be some extra stuff in there. I'm not going to say any words at the moment. But if you go to Facebook, UFO Buster Radio Facebook page, on the Twitters, at UFO Buster Radio, or, UBR Truth Seekers. They've been posted in all those places, the rules and regulations, and even on Instagram. It's all there. So, February 10th, midnight is your deadline. Plenty of time for you guys to get it together. Now, the top 10, I'm going to post on ufobusterradio.com and probably in the Facebook pages as well. And we're going to do some voting, some judgmentations to figure out who is the winner for this year's tinfoil hat contest. I'm going to tell you right now, since I posted it, there's been a lot of talk about it. A lot of folks which, I didn't even know they even listened to the podcast or even followed it on Twitter. I have been commenting it. And it looks like we might have a good amount of entries. So come on, get it together. Break out that tinfoil. Forget about roasting stuff. Forget about wrapping stuff in the oven. Don't. Forget about using it to cut some drugs. I don't know what you do with it. It's time to get crazy. Get that $25. It's yours if you want it. The next thing is, basically, Big O's may not show up, may or may not, so we'll see what happens. So far, the plans to make it to the 2020 Roswell Festival are in full bloom. We will be there. Ronnie Dawson has mentioned he's going to be there. A few other people that I know are saying they're going to make the trip over to Roswell for this thing. I also reached out to Daryl Sims. Daryl Sims is going to be there as a speaker for the festival at the Roswell UFO Museum. So I contacted him. So we know he's going to be there. He's got a whole presentation going on regarding implants. So we know how that goes. Another speaker that's been scheduled is Mike Barra from Ancient Aliens. And there's a host of other people, and I'm sure as we get closer, there's going to be plenty more. So I'm going to raid Roswell. Fuck Area 51. It's way too guarded. I'm heading to Roswell, where security is low. Well, hopefully it is. We're going to get started with the episode. We're going to play this one song while I take a few swigs of this rum because I'm so depressed about Derek Carradine. Jeez Louise.
I
You know, I've been talking about Elon Musk and my conspiracy theory, and the plot thickens. Elon Musk recently described what the Starlink antenna that you as a consumer or some spirit chucker in the middle of the Amazon would have to use in order to get signal and internet, broadband, that is. They're pretty much the shape of the fucking antenna that you're going to stick on your fucking car or stick it on your house or stick it anywhere you feel you would get the best reception. The title of this article is Elon Musk, you'll connect to Starlink with a UFO on a stick. Now let me just let's take a step back, because when he did that Starship presentation, was it like a few months ago, right before the ship blew up, he said someone asked him when they had the free-for-all questions. You noticed that when they had this, they had like one regular guy. Like they had one guy that looked like he was from Boca Chica, right? I think he even had had a baseball cap, and he had like a fucking Hawaiian shirt on. But everyone else looked like nerds from, like they escaped from some math lab somewhere, and they all decided to go down to see their god, Elon Musk. One of them, among them, was a little less geeky than all the other ones. He looked like he was like a rejected, high school newspaper guy. And his question, I believe, was about aliens. What do you know about aliens? And Elon, he kind of chuckled it off. It's like, ha 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 ha. If I knew if there was aliens, I would know about it. Yeah, that's the way it went down. He's like, you could tell he turned like beet red. Aliens, I wouldn't know about it. Yeah. Well, strange thing that his reference is to UFOs, unidentified flying object, that many people have taken it to look like a saucer-shaped UFO sitting on a pole, metallic, of course, in order to get Starlink broadband service. Quite the coinky dink. Now, apparently he reported this description on the Twitterverse, and people, of course, went crazy on it. And according to this, the terminal, as he likes to call it, a happy ending for him, maybe, would look like a thin, flat, round UFO on a stick. Yeah, he tweeted this past Tuesday, noting that users will need to plug in the device, wink, wink, and pointed to the sky. Oh, this is getting crazier. In order to access SpaceX's satellite internet network, also known as Starlink, the end of the world as we know it. Yeah. In the instructions, he actually added no training required. Yep. People use enemas. On Monday, we know that SpaceX actually launched another batch of satellites of 60, bringing now the total to 172. And they plan to have upwards of more than 20 more launches this year. Now, this number, which seems to change every other fucking person that talks about it, but on this article, the ultimate goal is 42,000 satellites. Now, I can tell you this, that locally here in San Antonio, there was some local, small apps for neighborhood people who were reporting seeing those 60 satellites, because they're not in the same path as the original that was 112. Yeah, the 60 are on a different path. And I actually ran out and downloaded an app that actually tracks both of them and actually lets you know when you'll be able to see them from your perspective, from your, basically, your coordinates on the map of the planet. So Yeah, it's been going crazy. There's been a lot of reports, especially this last batch, which the app shows them as Starlink 2 because they have a completely different path. So download one of these apps, check it out. Unfortunately, when I figured out and I downloaded the app, the next morning it was cloudy as fuck, so I wasn't going to be able to see it. And it's been cloudy ever since, believe it or not. I think we had threat of rain. So there's been plenty of clouds in the sky. Unfortunately, can't see the goddamn fake UFOs that SpaceX put up there through cloud cover, but that's the way it is, right? Fuck. I'm sure that when the next 60 go up, and he's got a lot of launches to go, so he's looking at least there's going to be some months where it's going to be 2 launches. So let's get it on. I believe the next one should be around the first or second week of February. And actually today, he was supposed to blow up one of the Crew Dragons over the Atlantic. I totally missed that altogether. So after the podcast, I'll have to go out there and see the glorious explosion just to see how bad it looked. So 42,000. Can you imagine? Right now we have 172, and it's causing all kind of craziness. People are reporting this like mad. Imagine 42,000. I still say there is another reason for this. Good old Mr. Musk. He's not. He's not doing this. That's his battle cry. He's either going to take over the world, to block out anyone else that has any kind of communication capabilities. He's going to use it just strictly for his Starship eventually, or. As we know, the birth of the internet started with the army, the military. Maybe that's why they decided to make a deal with him. I mean, you've got to have a space force, quote unquote, that has fantastic communication. Could you imagine having one of these constellations in place, satellite constellations, which are for communication, at the disposal of your spacefaring military? The possibilities are endless. Congratulations, Elon Musk, for getting down. I want to, of course, welcome Guter. Welcome, Guter, to the live chat. Yeah, that's the story there. Their link is in the description. You might be able to see a little bit more of it. There's actually a sketch of the I guess you can call it the SpaceX anal probe, so that you can just imagine what it's going to look like. Don't take Elon on his word, right, Elon? Forget about it. Hey, you're about to take over the world, buddy. I know it. Ladies and gentlemen, look what the cat just drug in. Someone by the name of Dave. Dave, where you been? We've been looking for you the last few weeks. You just haven't been around. Oh, you showed up too late. Yeah. Were you anywhere near
China?
Could that be, Dave? Because rumor is that you went down to
China.
I don't know. Don't know. But anyway, welcome back to this live episode. It is UFO Buster Radio, episode number 327. We call it the Thursday Freakout. And I have, and thanks to Gooter noticed that there was a sad-looking man on the podcast episode. So, but we're not going to talk about that just yet, because that guy, jeez Louise, I've been missing out on a lot when it comes to him. Not anymore, buddy. You are on the radar at the moment. By the way, Dave, I don't know if you know, but David Carradine died of sexual asphyxiation. I know you're depressed about that right now. I was myself. I'm telling you, I'm traumatized right now. So traumatized at this moment. This next article has to do with finding alien life because, hey, we're trying every fucking way possible, right? We're trying to look at things we've never looked at before. And apparently I'm getting a phone call right now, but we will have to hold on to that thought just for a moment because I got a damn article to talk about. This article came out of Discover magazine, and it's about dwarfs. Now, I promise you that when I looked at this, I was like, how many different ways can I be not politically correct when talking about this topic? I don't want to offend anybody, but it's really hard not to get into this and feel like I'm crossing the line somewhere. Yeah. But we're not talking about any kind of dwarf. We're talking about the red ones. Red dwarfs. Also known as K-dwarfs. So, if you're a red dwarf, you can have any kind of a first initial. Depends what your mama named you. So basically, these are smaller stars, which are a bit redder than our yellow sun. That's like the dumbest explanation I've ever seen. It's redder than our yellow sun. What the flying fuck are they talking about? And other types of stars called G-types. Those are the old gangster stars, I guess. The red dwarf stars apparently are the larger ones. Red dwarfs on the smaller end of the spectrum are called M dwarfs. So you got K dwarfs, M dwarfs, red dwarfs. I mean, dwarfs come in all shapes and sizes and colors too. Apparently, this article says that the majority of stars in the Milky Way galaxy are red dwarfs. Who would have thunk? Why the fuck we got a yellow star? We got gypped. The reason why astronomers believe that red dwarfs rock the alien life is because the K dwarfs. This is just crazy. The K dwarfs apparently are a lot better for supporting life. M dwarfs, which are the red motherfuckers of dwarfs. That's what the M pretty much stands for. K is for cool, and they do it with a K because they are cool. Have issues because the M dwarfs apparently tend to give off a lot of high energy X-ray and UV radiation, which of course we know promotes fucking cancer and is harmful for life. So they're saying, if you want to find life, if you want to detect alien life somewhere else, stop screwing around. Look for the dwarf. The dwarf will get you there. Look for the K red dwarfs, and chances are you will find life. And the reason for this is because apparently not only do they have only a fraction of the radiation than the motherfucker dwarfs put out, the M dwarfs, the red ones, but they also are a lot more stable, even more stable than our own yellow planet, I'm sorry, yellow star, than our own yellow sun. How much more? Well, apparently our sun will last about, has about a 10 billion span of years where it is stable. That means it's not starting no shit. It's not burning up the solar system. And they call this the main sequence. But these K dwarfs, these red K dwarfs, can live up to between 15 to 45 billion years before they kind of blow up and become really big red giants. Something to look forward to, red dwarfs. So pretty much it has a longer time, basically, in order for whatever planets are around them, basically in orbit, to develop life in a more safer environment than what we're getting with our shitty, apparently bad luck yellow sun. Ain't that a bitch? So there's more information on there in this particular story regarding the red dwarfs and how they can be used to find life somewhere else. You know, this is just crazy. How many different things are they going to look for? But, you know, Ronnie Dawson is getting visits in his home down in Ranger, Texas. There is just something wrong with this story. Completely wrong. Oh, hold on a second. Apparently, it looks like we have someone in the chat box that might have tried to call me just recently. Mr. O.N., if you just give me a moment, I will play a song, which was going to happen anyway, so that we could get you on. So I'm going to start that song for the record at the moment, because we have a caller we need to answer. So check this out.
I
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a caller that joined us this moment. You guys might know him as Big O. That's your cue to talk.
What's up, everybody? Big O in the house.
Yeah, Big O's in the house. Like I said earlier, he said he was going to call in. But Big O, I need to kind of call your attention to the blue chicken.
Yeah, blue chicken. I love it. And the picture is the blue chick. I love it.
What what the hell is going on? The funny thing is, when I saw blue chicken, I started to think about Corey Good's Blue Avians. Is that a blue avian on the podcast right now?
I don't know. Maybe.
It could be a blue avian.
It could be. It could be a secret government spy. Conspiracy. Instead of the man in black, the chicken's in blue.
The chicken's in blue. It sounds like a cop show.
Right?
Chicken in blue. All right, and White Chicken Blue, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So what's up, Big O? You got any news for us you want to talk about? Anything you want to chat about? What's going on?
No, I'm just getting everything, slowly together so that way I could be a part of the show a little bit more. Getting my laptop going, and I'm going to have set days off. So I'm wanting to kind of jump back on the show. And also, pretty soon, Big O is going to be doing a YouTube channel. Getting the GoPros out and maybe talk about UFOs, maybe talk about North Dakota lifestyle. So it's going to be interesting.
North Dakota lifestyle, which is cold as hell.
Oh, dude, it's 1 degree right now.
Oh, hey, Gooter says, lots of Aussie mates here. Love Manny. Yeah, thank you. And I do see that a lot in my show data. Wouldn't it be great, Big O? One day we can take a trip down to Australia and hang out there and just go to the outback and just do all kind of crazy shit.
Oh, yeah, it's on fire right now. I can't wait till they throw that shit out before we can go down there.
What? Gooter? Is the outback on fire? What's going on?
Yeah, there's a huge fire in Australia right now that's killing everything. Koalas are going to be extinct soon.
Gee, that fucking sucks.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't watch the news. It's fucking depressing. Like I said, I just found out that David Carradine committed suicide. Unintentional, just trying to get off using sexual asphyxiation.
Oh yeah, isn't that the same? Isn't that the same way that one dude committed suicide? The guy who played the Kung Fu Master.
Fool, that's the same guy. That's Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah. He's dirty.
He was in his 70s. Like, I'm so depressed about that right now.
This shit's awesome.
But you know what? It is a lesson to all you guys in the 70s. If that's the way you like to roll, make sure you have a few people to help you out.
At least hire a hooker. At least, that no CPR. A hooker that no CPR is fucking golden.
Yeah, no kidding. So listen, right before the song ended, we were talking about, you were looking at those the drone issues in Colorado.
Yes. They said that it was fake, and I don't think it was supposedly fake. I do think there are drones out there, and the reason why the FAA or whoever the fuck does the whole flight thing doesn't know about it, because if there's any drone that's more than 250 grams or more, I believe they need to be registered. And people are buying drones left and right and not registering shit, and they're just flying it like crazy. So that could be a reason why nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And if you really think about it, Colorado is very... Good.
And then the original story actually had a cop saying that he saw those 6-foot drones.
Yeah, do you really believe a cop nowadays on anything? I mean, as much of a public servant as police officers are supposed to be, do you really want to believe them saying anything on any point, especially in a liberal state? Not really. So anything that an official, and it's not even a cop, it's the public, figure for the police department will say something, and they don't really fucking know what the fuck is going on anyway.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. But the latest thing this morning was that there might be mass hysteria. And why would you have mass hysteria about drones in Colorado unless got some bad weed?
Or some really good fucking weed.
Yeah.
Depending on the way you want to look at that. Like, bro, I can see into the future.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad good weed for somebody, but for others, it was fucking scary as hell.
Oh crap! It is cold outside.
So what else
just
have
so
you
that
been
everybody
looking
knows,
at?
I've been really paying really close attention to, as everybody should be, SpaceX and all the things that they're doing. And I'm also looking at they have a new type of rocket right now that it's the way it's designed, that as it goes into zero orbit or zero gravity and less atmospheric pressure for the rocket, that it will actually still be able to focus the thrust behind the rocket better. I forgot what rocket is supposed to be called, but it is essentially like a cone with inside a cone of the rocket that's helping direct the thrust proportion of the thrust from the rocket and less atmospheric pressure. I was looking at that for a little while.
Now, Blue
But
Chicken is
that,
asking if
really
you're
anything.
referring to NASA's Red Rocket.
No.
That's not it?
Where do you see that? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's what he said. Are you referring to NASA's Red Rocket?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not NASA's Red Rocket. And, that could be, twisted in many different ways. So no, nothing like that. No.
Okay, well, I guess their campaign failed because you don't know about it.
Exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Well,
So
that's good.
it. Pretty much,
Yeah.
I haven't really been able to, between me and work, and I haven't been really able to focus on anything else right now. I just decided to call it because it's Thursday night. It's a freak out.
Yeah, so we're thinking that it sounds like you're going to be on here a lot more in the future. So maybe you need to have like your own segment, like big old
Like I did
Showtime.
before.
Yeah.
Maybe. It might be a possibility that I'm going to have to start coming up with my own little clips and then giving it to you, because I'm going to get the microphone as well.
And so what are you going to be posting on YouTube?
Say what?
What's going to be your theme on YouTube?
It's going to be everything. I'm going to have everything from projects, building motorcycles, because I got a motorcycle project I have to build. Some. I'm really an outdoors person, so hunting and shooting my rifles and going out in the woods, probably at night, and camping and see if we could look. I'm gonna point some cameras to the sky, because as cold as it is in North Dakota, we're so far up north that sometimes we can't see the northern lights, and we can also, the skies become very clear, especially in the wintertime. It is very clear at night. There's no humidity. So it's really nice. Start pointing the camera to those skies, see if we can find something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let us know, and we'll put it in the chat, and actually the show description in the future, so we can check that out. But listen, I was about to recap some stuff regarding one of our favorite ufology guys, Stan Romanek.
Oh, yeah? What's up?
Yeah.
When he
really
did this
crazy stuff. But yeah, I can't deal with you online though.
Why not?
That's just the way it goes, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, then what are you going to recap on?
We're going to recap some serious business that I missed regarding Stan Romanek and things that are going on right now. But I need to do a segment to play some music again before I get into that. So, any parting words for the peoples?
Nope. All right, guys. We'll be right back.
All right, ciao. All right, let's get into his last news report. For now, it has to do with your buddy Stan and things that have gone south. Ladies and gentlemen, I seem to have missed a lot of news regarding our buddy Stan Romanek. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with him, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you can go to Netflix. I think it might still be there. Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story. Those of you who know ufology know the story of Stan Romanek as someone who was reported to be a starseed, had fathered hybrid children, and also was an alien abductee and had crazy sightings out in Colorado. This story actually appeared April of last year, which I completely missed it. It is titled, and this actually came from a Colorado newspaper, Stan Romanek, Extremely Contagious Illness Prevents Court Appearance. I missed this entirely. Like, I was sitting around, I even mentioned it on the podcast, like, what the hell happened to Stan Romanek? What happened to his court case? It turns out that Mr. Stan Romanek out of Loveland, Colorado, was actually sentenced in 2017, being found guilty of a felony possession of child pornography in his Loveland home, and that happened when the authorities went in, did a search, and found a USB, one of those memory sticks, full of child pornography. The judge sentenced him to 2 years in a halfway house and ordered that he register as a sexual offender. That case, or that particular event, which he didn't make it to in April because he was so ill, was actually scheduled as an audio conference with his attorney on May the 7th. So I started to search. I'm like, what's going on? Why am I missing this story with Stan Romanek? How could I be in the dark? So completely in the dark. So I started to look around and I found a website called Fundraiser. January 2019, before the article that I just talked about, there was a kind of like a GoFundMe type of thing, but they were raising money for Stan due to an illness. Very fascinating indeed. This was posted by his wife. January 2019, the story here is that they needed the collection, the fundraising was for $15,000 for one. But at that time, what the post was, that it appeared that Stan was poisoned apparently about 10 years prior to this post. And apparently the doctors at that point could not be sure of how or when or why, but they're saying that the poison in the system at the time was called cadmium, and they didn't know much about it other than Google, because I guess they searched for it on Google, and so they had some information from Google, but it was going to cost them a pretty penny, about $1,500, for them to cover 10 treatments to have this 10-year-old poison removed from Stan's system. And there's a quote in here from his wife that says, "This isn't about getting money for frivolous things. This is about saving Stan's life. Please, please help if you can. and share the update with those who may be able to help. Thank you, and say a few prayers for Stan. Blessings to you all, Lisa Romanek. That is by far a interesting turn of events for them to claim that Stan had been poisoned for over 10 years on cadmium. Like, how would you even come across such an element? That is a question for another episode. Now, after the incident where Stan was not able to show up to his court hearing, there was another update, which was, this was actually right before that, March 31st, 2019, which is actually the month before that failed court appearance. It said that Stan was scheduled to start what they call a chelation treatment on the 8th of April, and they're hoping that his health would restore quickly. And they made note that they were thanking folks for their donations, and that they only had about $500 left to reach their goal in order to completely pay for the cost. Now, I'm sure part of this $15,000, of which the site shows a little bit over $10,000, was donated to Stan's fund, which is going, I guess, for a lot of different things. But quite interesting that you really have not heard about Stan Romanek ever since the incident. I don't know how many people in the chat box have been in there looking at this, but that picture that I think it was Guter said was a pretty sad-looking guy, and that is the episode image, is actually an image of Stan Romanek while he was home around the time that he was getting the treatment. He does not look like the same Stan Romanek that we saw in a lot of videos leading up to his hearing, where he made some appearances, and he seemed a little crazed. But he was a healthier looking Stan Romanek, except for what he was doing mentally and the way he was behaving. It is very strange indeed. But wow, completely nuts. Big O is back in the chat box. Sorry, Big O, but I can't hear the music drops when you're on the line for some reason. I have no idea what it is, but it just blocks everything. But glad that you were on, and can't wait to get that new segment going on for Big O. Maybe we'll do a new song instead of that old rip anime song that we had to introduce Big O's segment. But you look fascinating. So we have to figure out how we're going to stay in touch with Stan Romanek and Lisa Romanek, which apparently is the one posting everything. But I can't say this. That post back in March of this year was the very last one. There were no other posts. It looks like the fundraising is still going on, but they haven't moved very much. But that's a good almost, 10 months since there has been any news about Stan Romanek. But I'm going to do some searching, and I'm going to do some searching on whatever that element is. It's kind of strange that it would be in your system for 10 years. Really, really strange. Yeah, I like the guys in the chat box are saying he looks too far fucked up. Could be depression, could be a lot of things. But what can you do? It's just a crazy story altogether. we got some explanations on the cadmium poisoning of Stan Romanek, and apparently it looks like it could be that Alien Lube might be cadmium based. Could be prison lube too. I don't know. Things that make you go, That's the podcast for today, folks. Thank you for joining the craziness that is UFO Buster Radio. And don't forget, if you are interested, please feel free to join and submit your tinfoil hats for the tinfoil hat contest. You have until February the 10th, midnight Central Standard Time, to submit that photo. Now, you can be in the photo wearing your tinfoil creation. You can have an animal, a fish. You can have a cat or a bird. You can put it on your unsuspecting grandparents who don't have a fucking idea of what's going on around them. Just throw that shit on them and take a picture and submit it to ufobusterradio.com at Manny, or at ufobusterradio@gmail.com. If you look on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you will see the instructions of how to do it. But make it fancy, make it awesome, make it something worth voting on. And as soon as that gets done, we'll put it up on ufobusterradio.com and also the Facebook page. We're going to vote on it, and the winner will get a $25 Amazon gift card. And again, it bears repeating, we will need an address, but if you don't want to send your address, at least an email in order to send an gift card from Amazon, so you guys can buy some more tinfoil, maybe something fancier, put some LED lights on it. This is Manny Moonraker. I am checking out. Thanks, Big O, for showing up. Thanks for the guys, even the Blue Chicken, for showing up in the chat box. I'm about to check out, but check out this song on my way out. Peace. Ciao. Adios.